Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the SC on TV podcast for the Vampire Diaries, Season 6, Episode 4. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? I'm your host, Dom. With me is my co-host, my slightly agitated co-host, Omikins.
Hi.
Hi. You don't want to sing Black Hole Sun with me?
I don't know the words.
Oh. That's unfortunate. So, what'd you think of this episode?
I thought it had, it's the best one that I've seen, other than, like, the last 15 minutes of the season finale of last season, best one I've seen in the last couple seasons, so.
Yeah. I, did not like last season at all.
No, me neither.
And I was at the point where I'm like, alright, the show is jump the shark. There's really not much more they can do.
Jump the shark?
Yeah, you never heard that term?
I always heard jump the ship.
No, it's jump the shark. It's a old TV term, and it went back as far as Happy Days.
I didn't watch
And when Happy Days literally jumped the shark, there was an episode where the Fonz was like riding a jet ski over a shark, and just as he goes to jump it, the episode ended, and it was like to be continued, so you didn't know if he jumped the shark or not. And I think the phrase existed before that, but I know that that's where it became popular.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'll never forget that reference.
You can thank Happy Days for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was afraid that the show had done everything that it could, and there was everything else after that was just going to be kind of boring and drawn out and worn down, and I figured they were spending all their time on the originals, and I'm happy. The original is a good show, but I was worried because this is the show that I liked first, and I wanted to continue to like it.
Well, I mean, if they had started at the same time, then you couldn't say that.
Right. That's true. But I think part of the reason for me even liking the originals in the first place is their setup from the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
And there was kind of another lull in Season 3 when Klaus and Stefan were hanging around a lot. There was like a moment in that season, like right around that time. I didn't really care for Klaus and Stefan's adventures, and the show kind of started to slip off for me there. So It seems like this is, at least for me, it's an every 3-season occurrence. Or no, because Season 5 was the one I didn't like, not Season 6. So there goes that theory. Anyway.
I just didn't like it.
Yeah. Didn't. But I'm loving the season so far. And this whole Bonnie Damon story is like really, really exciting.
I love how much they hate each other, but like each other at the same time. It's amazing. That dynamic is just awesome.
Mm-hmm. So we got a lot more information about Kai this episode. We found out that he is actually Malachi. Which, great name. Great name.
Sure.
Maybe not. But we were guesstimating last week whether he was a new type of supernatural creature or not.
He kind of is.
And he kind of is, yeah. He's
kind of is.
He's kind of like this amplifier.
The way that I saw it was that he can do any type of magic. He just needs the trigger. He needs the spark, which is another witch's magic. So I kind of labeled him an anti-witch, but I mean, anti doesn't really work. Kind of. Maybe. Because otherwise he's useless. If he can't tap into power, he's just kind of,
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. I think it makes what he takes, though. Like, he said that he temporarily gains their powers. But it seems like he can take them to a much more aggressive level than they can. That's why I'm calling him an amplifier. because he like just touched Bonnie and he's shooting out these massive fireballs like out of his hand. And we haven't seen Bonnie throw fire. We've only seen her create fire from like water or liquid or, you know, something like that. So it seems like his powers are stronger and more developed.
I think that's more or less, development, and that's experience. And plus, she just got her powers back. So, I mean, the strength of her magic is there, and he's just tapping into that. And like I said, I think he knows how to do everything already.
Yeah, could be.
And
but we've never seen Bonnie throw like a Wicked Witch of the West fireball at anybody. No. She's generated it from somewhere.
She's never really needed to, I don't think. Unless, well, I mean, she's not exactly the aggressor either. So.
She set Damon on fire a few times before.
That's Damon. I'd set him on fire.
What? Why would you do that?
To make him more hot.
Oh. You with the puns tonight. You're so punny.
That was the first one I threw out there.
You're so punny. We also learned Malachi murdered his coven in Oregon, which is weird that it's in the Mystic Falls newspaper.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I really don't.
But we also learned that this prison, right? Because, all right, so he murdered his whole coven of witches, right? He cut out his sister's spleen with a hunting knife, right? He hung 2 of his siblings off of a stairwell, and then he drowned his brother, the final one, in a pool, right? So he pretty much murdered the entire coven that he had. And then he went after, what was it, the Gemini Coven, which is not the first time we've heard of them. We've heard in the first episode, Stefan mentioned them, and then Enzo mentioned them.
Because of the possibility that they could convene with the other side.
Right.
And then they said that they couldn't, and now that this prison exists on the other side. So
well, it's not really the other side. It's like it's a snapshot frozen in time. I don't know if they can technically communicate with that or not. They had access to it to put him there, but can they communicate? We don't know.
I don't know. It just seems like they could. I mean, they would put his soul there, so he's a supernatural being. He belongs on the other side, but they put him in the prison instead. So they kind of have a little bit of leeway there as far as dealing with the other side and all that stuff.
Right. So it was the Gemini Coven that banished Malachi to May 10th, 1994. It's his own prison, like we said. But the interesting thing is we found out that this does not just cover Mystic Falls. This is the world. This prison is at least the U.S. We don't know past that. You know, it's the continent that they're on. Because Malachi had talked about going to the White House, and he talked about wanting or taking pictures, you know, in the chair, and the fact that he's been places, and the fact that he's from Maine or Oregon. They said Portland, so I instantly think of Portland, Maine, but it's Portland, Oregon. So I'm curious if anybody else is in this prison. Like we talked about that briefly last week, but the fact that this prison exists just strictly for Malachi seems a little weird. And the fact that Bonnie and Damon made it in there, and all of a sudden Malachi's around. If this thing is really as big as the entire world, what is keeping Malachi in Mystic Falls? Like, what brought him there?
Bonnie.
But how would he know Bonnie's there?
Maybe he really is the only person there, and he just knows when something's different.
Could be.
I mean, he is a witch, so maybe part of his power is because he lives, basically his power is draining other witches' powers. He can actually sense that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And you know what? I'm going to go with that one. I like that theory just enough to accept it as canon.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're going to explain that.
No.
It's just a little too convenient that he was in Mystic Falls. You know, they've been there for 3-4 months now. Yeah, well, he did
just show up recently, so...
No, it's true.
And he probably was on the other end of the country, so it probably took him that long to get there.
Well, we know that he wasn't fucking around with them either until, like, the 3rd month in, because that's when he filled out the crossword puzzle.
Yep.
So, but May 10th, 1994 was not limited strictly to the murder of Malachi's coven.
No.
We also learned Damon did something pretty bad. But the way they were billing it, I thought it was going to be worse. Like, I mean, this is bad, but in terms of the things that Damon has done, this doesn't really seem that bad.
No, it seems on par with everything else he's done so far. Maybe a little less, so, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When
I mean, yes, it is a pregnant lady. That is a little, you know,
yeah,
morality kind of,
right.
no, just, but, I mean, it's Damon.
I like the fact that at the end of the episode, it tied back in, and Bonnie's like, oh, so the reason why you've been making all these pancakes is because the pregnant lady had a thing for pancakes.
Blueberry pancakes, in fact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, does that mean Damon's showing a little remorse?
I don't think he realized it until she said something. It was just something he was doing just so that he could keep his mind off of Elena.
Yeah.
He probably regret. It's part of, like, you know, he's a vampire, so, you know, you never forget. Unless you get Alaric to erase your memories like a dim bat. But you never forget, and, you know, you never forget when you regret either. So he definitely regretted that.
Yeah, we'll come back to the Alaric thing, but when they started off the flashbacks and they showed Damon standing at the Salvatore boarding house with the newspaper holding the Kurt Cobain death article, I was like, oh no.
What a dick!
No, Damon, no. They never addressed it.
No, because it was a joke.
Right. But do you think Damon had anything to do with that?
Of course not. I think Damon would, I think he would have would quite enjoy Kurt Cobain, and he wouldn't want to hurt him as far as that goes.
I agree, but who knows? They could have had a rough night of partying, and I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Don't even want to think about it. We get to see Sheriff Forbes in flashbacks. The little scene with her and Damon was rather funny. She held up the little picture of baby Caroline. And
yeah.
Then I was like, how is this going to work? Because she's going to remember Damon, only to find out at the end of the flashback. He compels her.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, forget this and go home.
Yeah. So, we got to see Uncle Zach again. Character I never, ever, ever thought we were going to see again.
Like Uncle Zach.
But this leads us to where my prediction fell flat on its face. Sarah apparently is not Bonnie's sister. Sarah is apparently a distant relative of Stefan and Damon, being related to Zach, and I don't know what the mother's name was.
Neither do I.
Did they ever say her name? I don't remember them saying her name.
They might have in passing, but, I mean, I was just, like, in awe that Stefan and Damon have a relative again.
Yep, from what we thought, at least, Uncle Zach was the last living Salvatore relative.
Yep.
But it looks like that is not the case.
No.
So is the Salvatore bloodline going to continue on?
Maybe. I mean, if she survives Damon and Stefan's shenanigans, yeah. I mean, if she goes out and gets married, maybe she gets together with Jeremy. There you go, Gilbert Salvatore's
hooking up left and right. But are we positive that Uncle Zach is the father?
No, we're not positive.
Because it was only alluded to by Jeremy. I think Jeremy's the one that said it. We saw Stefan walking out from the hospital. We know Stefan's the one that dropped the mother at the hospital knowing she was pregnant. even though it was outright said, it was only said by Jeremy, and I think that's Jeremy's assumption. I'm going to go with the fact that it is, that is how it's going to be. They are related, but there's a possibility that they're not.
Yeah, there is the possibility, but I mean, Sarah went to him and said, "This is my father, you know, with my mother." She took the picture. So, I mean, Jeremy knew who that was.
Well, she only had the one picture. She had the picture of the mother with the cupcake.
She had a picture of Zach and
that's
the mom
the one that
as
she
well.
found in the boarding house.
Yeah.
So she said that I know that this is my mother, but they're assuming that just because he was in the picture that he's the
I
father.
guess. Stefan would know for sure. He was living in the boarding house at that time.
He would. Like I said, I'm willing to bet that they are related, but there's a slight possibility that they're not, and they're just thinking Zach's the father to throw us off.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had mentioned Alaric taking Elena's memories away.
Mm-hmm.
Which Elena ends up finding out. Stefan basically calls her out on it. And she ends up talking to Alaric, and Alaric's like, this is going to explain it better than I can. So he hands her a box of her belongings, and in it is a journal page that's bookmarked. She's reading it, and it's like, you know, somebody blabbed my bets on Caroline. Which that's who I would have put
my bet was on
too.
Caroline, too.
But were you surprised that she chose not to ask Alaric for her memories back?
No. She knows enough now that Damon isn't a bad guy, that she loved him, and that's all she needs right now to carry on living. Because if she got those memories back, I'm pretty sure she knew what was going to happen. She was going to go back into that ball, and she was not going to, you know, move on at all.
Mm. Is she going to have Alaric erase the fact that she found out?
No, I think she's keeping that little tidbit so she knows when to, you know, dial back the hate.
Well, she handed the box back to Alaric, and she said, keep this safe in case I need it again. So I'm under the impression that she's wiping her memory. Because why else would she need it again if she just read it, unless she intends on wiping her memory?
I think she's keeping her memory of that little point so that she's not making everybody else feel awkward. Because she was always like, you know, Damon's a monster, Damon's this, Damon's that. I'd obviously made Stefan really pissed off. And I think she actually realized that, you know, if she understood why he's not that bad, that, you know, maybe Stefan would come back. And, you know, she wants all her friends to come back together. So, I mean, if she's still going to hate on Damon and burst it out in front of Stefan all the time after, you know, he knows that, you know, she dumped him for his brother. Yeah, it's a little awkward. So.
Yeah. That whole Stefan and Elena scene at the bar, that was a lot of fun.
That was hilarious.
They got to pretend to be whoever they wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
When Stefan asked for her ring, I thought he was going to, like, run away with it and leave her in the bar. Just so he'd get away, you know?
Yeah, well.
I did not expect him to fake propose to Elena.
Did you see the shit-eating grin he had on his face while he was doing it? I would have slapped him and then laughed and then loved it.
It was...
That was this is one of the only scenes where I'm actually like, Stefan is actually a pretty interesting character. He needs to be like this more often.
Yeah, I like to see the side of Stefan, the fun-loving side, instead of the worrying... I forget, there's one episode that, like...
He broods a lot.
Yeah, there's one episode in season 1 where Damon pretty much describes Stefan's brooding to a T. And I wish I could remember it right now, but I'd like seeing the side of Stefan.
Yeah, really it was really nice to see.
Do you think this is foreshadowing that the two of them could get back together?
Maybe. I mean, the door is open because she doesn't have the connection to Damon right now.
Mm-hmm.
But once Damon comes back, it's going to be that love triangle again.
Yeah.
I kind of think so.
Whether she chooses to get her memories back or not.
Ivy's back.
Ivy is back.
So maybe, no. I think Elena's going to get jealous.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the episode ends with Ivy crawling back to Stefan in transition. And it just, like, cuts. It's like...
Yeah.
Like, your friend fed me his blood and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So we know she's in transition. So we know from last week to this week, no more than a day has gone by. She was dirty, so it looked like she had been, in fact been buried.
Yep. His boss sure did the deed.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah. I don't know, that's going to be an interesting dynamic, yeah.
I totally wasn't expecting that.
I was not either.
No.
It's one of those things, like I said, it very briefly had crossed my mind. And it's just like, nope.
Nah.
Nope. Because as soon as I see a character die, I'm instantly like, did they have vampire blood? Like, that's the first thing that goes into my head. Every single time I see a character die. Did they die with vampire blood in their system? Nah, there's no reason for her to have it. That's exactly what I said, dismissed it. It was gone that fast and never came back into my brain.
Yep.
So I was not expecting this at all. It was quite a big shock.
It was.
So we know that characters like this that are instantly turned for this small plot point usually don't stick around very long.
No.
I mean, look at Vicky. And who else did we have turn? Logan.
Yeah, Logan. Bonnie's mom.
Yes, Bonnie's mom. There's been a few cases of this where they're turned just for plot points and they only stick around for a few episodes.
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing with Ivy, does that make Enzo out to be as big of a monster as Stefan thought he was?
Enzo is, he's mischievous. He's a troublemaker. He vowed to cause Stefan pain and turmoil for the rest of his immortal life. I think this is a good chess move here. It's like, he's kind of trying to get a strategic advantage, so he doesn't have to be there the whole time to cause Stefan a little bit of grief. Because new vampires aren't easy to control. We know this. So if Stefan lets it, actually lets her feed and lets her transition to an actual vampire, he's going to have to control her, and that's a lot off Enzo's plate. He can go do other things.
Yeah. It's true. It's going to preoccupy Stefan for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Enzo is preoccupied himself.
Yeah.
We see Tripp, Fel, and Matt go on a road trip where Tripp kind of fills in Matt about vampires, like Matt didn't already know. But he brings him right to Enzo.
Yeah. I think it would have been more hilarious as Tripp was, doing his little monologue and talking right at Enzo, not looking at Matt. Matt's going like this. No, Enzo, don't do it. No, don't do it. He's just kind of like, little shakes the head like, don't say anything, don't say anything. I wanted to see this. Like, stop. Don't say anything.
That would have been good. I think Enzo...
It would have been amazing.
Enzo didn't need those signals anyway. Enzo probably realizes as soon as he sees Matt, this is his one ticket out of there, so you better play it cool. But do you think Matt's going to free Enzo?
I think he will. Basically, I think how Matt's going to think about it is why would Bonnie save him if he wasn't useful?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? Enzo was pretty useful when you look past his dick side, asshole, arrogant piece of whatever. He's actually a pretty useful guy, and he does stand up for the ladies, as we saw what he did for Caroline.
It's only because he has a thing for Caroline.
I don't think he would do it for any lady.
Maybe. We'll have to see. I'm sure this isn't the last of him. I'm sure he's not gonna die in this prison.
No. I think he's... Didn't they say he's gonna be, like, super reoccurring?
They said he's gonna be a series regular for this season.
Oh, so he's not done yet.
Yeah, so 4 episodes in? No.
Nah, he's not done yet.
There's no way. But Tripp did mention that his wife was murdered, and he was made to believe it was a car crash as soon as he came back into Mystic Falls. The compulsion was wiped. He didn't call it compulsion because he didn't know. But that a vampire had murdered his wife. And he's looking for the murderer. Who do you think's the murderer?
Oh, God. When was the accident? Because then we could kind of tie it to Damon as we tie almost every other freaking murder to Damon.
It seems to fall into place the last time that Stefan and Damon were in Mystic Falls.
Yeah, so... It was
They said, what, about 15... He said it was, what, about 15 years ago? Something like that. That would drop us into 94, right?
Yeah.
Which was 10 years ago, so...
And that would make sense. It would make sense that, Tripp came back now.
Yeah.
Because, they're already dealing with the whole 1994 bullshit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just more shit to pile onto the plate.
Yeah. As soon as Damon gets back, he's going to be hunted and tried to kill again.
Oh, God.
You can see it. You know that's coming. That's why, like we said, that Tripp was going to be the big bad this season. Maybe not so much, because it's looking like they're setting up Malachi to be the big bad now. But,
yeah.
But Tripp looks like he's going to be a very formidable foe in the meantime. Can't count him out.
He's on a vengeance train there.
I think the story with Tripp is going to last until the mid-season.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
I think the story with Malachi is going to last the season. I think Malachi's got much bigger plans. I think the device that Malachi has to get them out of 94 is also going to function as another device, because there's some reason for that thing to exist, and it was more than just to, like, it existed before they were trapped in the prison, right? So it has to be used for something else, and I have a feeling that that's going to unleash the big bad for next season.
I don't know.
Because usually they'll set it up. There'll be like this little story that weaves in and out that you think is nothing, and then all of a sudden it comes in at the very finale, and it's like, boom, here's your big bad for next season. So
I just want to see demons.
Demons. That'd be kind of cool.
I want to see the demons. I want to see how they, deal with that shit. But
yeah, but Malachi, for someone that really wants to get out of this prison, he looks like he's intentionally like toying around with Bonnie and Damon. Like, it's almost seemed like he intentionally missed the eclipse.
He's really trying. I mean, I think he sees the bond between Damon and Bonnie, and he just wants to make sure that bond gets broken, so that he can be like, you know what, I'm gonna take you with me, but you can stay. Or, he's going to take Bonnie's powers, get the hell out for himself. Damon's not going to care. Damon's just going to be like, whatever. Hell, I don't care. There's just so many ways Malachi could go after this. But I really do think he's just trying to split Bonnie and Damon up.
Yeah.
But it's not even working.
Yeah, it seems like Bonnie doesn't want to go back right now, though. It has a lot to do with Malachi.
It has a lot to do with Malachi. She doesn't want to bring a psycho back into the real world.
Do you think she's frightened for the Gemini Coven?
She's frightened for herself. Because, as soon as they get back, he's going to steal her powers and go kill off the Geminis. And then he's going to kill her. So
how does his powers work? We don't really know, because from what we saw, he had to be touching Bonnie to do it.
He siphons out the powers.
So can he completely siphon her dry and then walk away and still have them?
I think if he absorbs all the power, she dies. And he absorbs the powers, but they're limited use. Meaning he uses them, but they deplete as he uses them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like he's holding on to her in casting, okay, but that's because he's holding on to her. If he takes everything at once, I'm pretty sure he just gets to keep it until it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, I foresee him going and draining the entire Gemini Coven, and he's going to be super powerful for the rest of the season. That's where I see this going. And that's not a bad thing. Having a super witch be the villain. We haven't seen a witch be a villain yet Don't
You're
give me
smoking
Silas.
crack.
Don't give me Silas and don't give me the Travelers.
Esther.
Esther wasn't... She
That's
was after... Esther was after the originals. I never once felt threatened for Stefan and Damon. Other than the bloodline.
No, yeah, if she would have killed either one of them, Elijah, Klaus, if she would have killed them both, there'd be no vampires. So she was a baddie because she was going to take out the starting of every vampire in existence.
Esther doesn't count.
Yes, she
does. Nope, she doesn't count. She was focused on the originals. Like, yeah, it has ramifications over the... I never felt threatened because maybe this is just the technical standpoint of this, but I knew if she killed Klaus that it would kill all the vampires that we knew from the show, and the show basically wouldn't exist. So I never once felt threatened.
I don't know. I don't think Malachi would actually do anything to the vampires. He'd just go on his own little rampage, take care of what he wanted to take care of, and he would leave Mystic Falls alone.
Right, but Bonnie would want to stop him because she's not going to want to see the...
Bonnie would want to stop him, and that's why everybody else would get involved.
Right.
Or they would get involved because he takes care of Bonnie, and they would be pissed.
And then I could see them going after him and fighting him, but then I'm not... Like, I'm not being like, oh, Malachi's going to win and wipe them out. Like, we know that Malachi's going to get defeated at some point, but in the meantime, there is the chance that somebody from the main group can die. And that's what's more frightening about it.
Wasn't there a statement said that was going to happen?
What, that a main cast member would die? That gets thrown around every season, and at this point, I don't know whether or not it's a rumor, or if it's the truth, or if it came from a writer, or if it was written on empirenews.com, which is, or .net, or whatever it is. It's all that fake news websites, but I can't tell anymore.
I mean, now if they're dead, which makes it a little bit more, if it were a thing, it'd be more important and impeding right now in this season.
Right now, yes. But who's to say that we can't get the Anchor and the other side and all that to be created again? Just because it's gone right now does not mean it can't be recreated.
Well, we do know that... No, we don't. Never mind. Complete thought process gone now.
Because we had... I don't remember her name now. It was Silas's... Tatya. We had Tatya create... Was it Tatya?
Tatya was the Anchor, yes.
Yeah, no, the other witch. The one who created the other side. Who?
Ketsia.
Ketsia had created the other side as like a punishment to keep the doppelgangers apart. And now that the doppelganger line has been killed off, right? If we get another witch, be it Esther on the originals, or Bonnie, or Malachi, or maybe Esther and Bonnie and Malachi cross over and recreate the other side. I don't know, but there could be some reason that they want to create the other side, bring it back. Because witches, we know that the witches gain their power through their ancestors and stuff like that. So the witches would have a very strong reason to bring the other side back, not just for the vampires and to help them and have them contain their loved ones somewhere where they can contact them, but as a place to draw their power from. So I don't see this being something that they really want gone.
I don't think any supernatural being wants it gone.
Right. So I could see it coming back.
Yeah.
Even if they just bring it back in the finale. Who knows? Trying to think. Alaric is the only other thing we have to talk about. Alaric and Jeremy. Did Alaric really need to bring Jeremy to the hospital? Like, couldn't he have just healed Jer with his blood? And
can you heal alcoholism or, alcohol poisoning?
Why not?
I don't know.
I would assume you could.
I think it was more or less he wanted to just... What was that treatment? It was like hydration treatment. Just
they give to pro athletes.
Yeah, just so that he can get the alcohol off his system really fast.
It's
kind of like
basically they would stick those bags up, the IVs, and run the saline solution, whatever they run through, and flush out his system.
Because what we saw was that Alaric wants Jeremy to pick his socks up and start being
his socks up.
Pick his socks up.
That's it? Just pick his socks up?
No, you're not letting me finish.
Oh.
He wants him to pick his socks up and, go back to the level-headed person that Jeremy was when he was a hunter. Okay?
I guess I picked up... Oh, wait. Socks.
Socks. You picked them up, now go put them in the laundry hamper.
Nope, I threw it on the floor.
Oh, God. You're worse than my daughter.
Worse than Jeremy. I just picked it up just to throw it back down. Jeremy wouldn't even do that.
No, but I mean, Alaric wants... It's basically a super fast rehab. Just to make sure that Jeremy can keep up with the shit that's going to come flying at them soon.
Do you think any of it had to do with the fact that Alaric wanted to see Joe again?
Possibly. I mean, he knows that he's not exactly savvy with the women anymore.
He's lost his game entirely.
Exactly. In my position, I'd be like, I ain't fucking this shit up any worse than I already did. I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, Alaric, come on.
I mean, he got distracted. He had the bloodlust, seeing somebody had a busted nose in the hospital.
And she looked at him like, you're a pathetic piece of shit. Maybe a normal person, anybody like me, sees blood and goes, huh, and gets kind of queasy. And, she's like, maybe you should pay attention to the person you're talking to. It's like, there's blood over there. Come on. Seriously.
Yeah. I thought that was a little bitchy of her.
It was.
So, I'm curious, do you think she knows?
That he's squished around blood?
No, that he's a vampire.
No, I mean, you wouldn't... I mean, I'm an observant person. I would say, oh, you don't like blood.
Well,
but no, she was like, I'm the only thing that matters.
I'm starting to piece things together from this, because we had the incident where she recognized the blood and got snippy with him. Then, 2 episodes ago, she really just wanted that flask. She wanted a sip out of that flask.
She wants a sip out of a lark, is what she wants.
Oh. So, I'm thinking, did she know what was in that flask, and she's saying that to kind of catch him off guard?
No.
When she turns out to be a vampire... I don't know.
What are you going to do?
Laugh at you when you said no, she isn't?
I didn't say she wasn't. I just said that she's being a bitch.
Yeah.
And a lark is... He has no mojo.
Wouldn't a lark notice that her heart's not... I guess they still have beating hearts.
I don't know. She just... I mean, it'd be nice for our lark to have a love interest again, but I don't...
What's up with him and doctors?
I know, right?
Like him and Meredith, Doctor. Now he's going after another doctor.
Her name's Joe, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why Joe should even... I mean, there's a lot of other things that they should be focusing on.
It almost seems like they're trying to pick up the Meredith storyline, but the actress wasn't available, so they're just carrying it on with the new character now.
And see, you put it that way, and now I really don't want her in the series.
Yeah. We gotta get Meredith to come back down from Alaska.
She's married.
If they shipped her off into like a really far corner that she'll never be back from?
I'm okay with that.
You didn't like Meredith?
Not really, no.
That's I think the actress that plays her is Stefan's real life wife, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. That doesn't mean I have to like her.
This is true. So, I think that about covers it. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I mean, no, you didn't miss anything.
Do you think Bonnie and Damon and Malachi are gonna get out next week, or do you think this is gonna carry on for a few more episodes in there?
I honestly don't know.
It seems like Malachi almost has a reason to stay. Like, he wants to go, but he's still looking for something. I feel like we said, there's a reason he's in Mystic Falls. I think he's looking for something.
It's very possible. I mean, we know Mystic Falls is a supernatural place to begin with, so maybe there's some sort of witchy relic that he needs to get his hands on. At least find out where it is now, so maybe it could still be there when he gets out.
Could be. Yeah, so I think that about covers it for this week. Next week, the episode is called The World Has Turned and Left Me Here, which is a Weezer song.
Weezer.
Yes. So with Homecoming around the corner, so we're going back to this again, where like every other week there's like a big party. And this is very like season 1, season 2-ish. You know,
Great.
there's a ball or a party
Wonderful.
or a Miss Mystic Falls or a school dance or I don't know. So with Homecoming around the corner, Elena invites Liam to attend a party at the corn maze with her.
Really? A party at a corn maze?
I mean, they just went at a watering hole 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, well, that's a place where you can, strip down and get nearly naked. It's a fucking corn maze. Seriously. What are you gonna do? Go, ooh, I'm a scarecrow. Seriously, there's no fun in that.
They go through the corn maze and vampires jump out and bite their heads off. I don't know. If Elena's going there, we know that it's not in Mystic Falls, so...
Oh, of course, yeah.
So the vampires could come out to play. Instead of attending the homecoming festivities, Caroline is preoccupied after Stefan shows up unexpectedly and needs her help cleaning up a mess created by Enzo. Obviously,
Ivy.
That is Ivy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Heeding Elena's advice to be more social, Alaric reluctantly attends the party, but a devastating accident quickly leaves him and Joe rushing to save lives.
Huh.
Oh, it's not done.
Okay, good. Because I was really, really confused there.
Elsewhere, Tyler finds himself in a dangerous position when his werewolf curse is put to the test, and an emotionally embattled Stefan comes clean to Caroline about his intent to move on from Mystic Falls. I don't even know. His intent to move on from Mystic Falls? Oh, so he tells Caroline.
He tells
basically
Caroline
what
that
he
he
was
wants
telling
out.
Elena this episode, but there's
Yeah.
got to be a little more to it. And it's probably that he has feelings for Caroline. That's probably what it is. And Caroline is Elena's best friend, and things are weird, and blah, blah, blah. Stupid love triangles. Lastly, Damon and Bonnie make an important discovery that affects their quest to get back home. So it looks like they're not getting home next week.
No.
The important discovery could be what I was just saying. Could be, what's his name? Malachi?
Malachi.
Could be Malachi looking for something that they need.
Yeah.
Something that he thought Bonnie had, maybe. Maybe it involves Cuddles the bear. Who knows?
Whoa, forgot about the bear.
Yeah. I'm still... Cuddles has something to do with this. There's no reason for Cuddles to be just brought into the house and mentioned for no reason. Cuddles is like the key to this season. I guarantee it. 'Cause Cuddles is the big bad. That's what it is. Cuddles is going to come to life and kill the town. It's a vampire teddy bear.
I've been imagining this bear with the, blood red eyes and fangs going like a zombie.
Hug me, I'm Cuddles.
Yes, that's perfect.
So, I think that about does it for the week.
Yes.
If anything else you'd like to add?
No. I don't know. I want to see more Matt, actually. I want to see him. They didn't mention him in that synopsis. I'm actually kind of worried now.
Well,
I thought they were making him more of a useful character.
Well, Caroline wasn't in this episode either. It seems like every episode they kind of dial back a few characters to let a couple other characters shine. So they kind of juggle a little bit. And I like that they do that instead of trying to cram everybody in and then everything gets watered down or rushed.
That's true.
So, yeah. Albe, where can the people find you and your dreams of nightmarish teddy bears?
I thought it was actually quite cute. But anyways, they can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24. LadyVenom24.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, where I concoct nightmares of vicious teddy bears.
Put them in a brew, stir a little bit.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. You could also find me and others on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Including American Horror Story, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, The Flash, the originals, Sleepy Hollow, and Gotham. And we will be doing Constantine, which aired tonight. So make sure to check out our premiere episode of Constantine for our initial thoughts. I believe we will be doing that on Tuesday. So until then, see you guys later.
Bye.
Vampire teddy bears.
Fucking pancakes, man.
What are you gonna do if the teddy bear actually is like a vampire?
I'm gonna love every second of it.
I'm
gonna love that bear so much. I'm gonna, cuddle the stuffings out of him.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go to Build-A-Bear and make my own after this.
Yes! Do it.